As
At
promised in
this
my last
point,
video,
Minecraft is more than just a game.
I am
It is a
giving you
cultural icon.
a brand new
Whether
killer
you've known
concept
about
for Dead
Minecraft
by
for years
Daylight.
and played it since the
And it
beginning,
all starts
or
with a couple of
have
blocks.
seen anything with Minecraft's fingerprints on it, you best believe that Minecraft is something you know about. It has been going strong for several years now, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. It may come as a surprise to you, however, that Minecraft has a bunch of horror elements in it. Yes, you have the typical cave sounds, but you also have Music Disc 11. Now, as for what this has to do with Dead by Daylight, well, if you know anything about Minecraft, I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. Herobrine. Possibly the most popular urban legend in the whole of Minecraft. Herobrine is synonymous with the game itself. And while it's not an and while he's not an official character in the game, he is so embedded into Minecraft's culture that you can't go 5 feet without somebody even bringing him up once. Nowadays, Herobrine's name is sort of mud, due to him being featured in so many cringy ad revenue channels, or as you know them, content farms. Now, as you can see on screen from the content creator, the Mr. Epic, there have been many attempts to make Herobrine be a real person in Minecraft. But that got me thinking, what would happen if Dead by Daylight were to take such an interesting and iconic urban legend from the early 2000s and make him an actual killer? Now, of course, this will never happen because Minecraft is a children's game and Mojang would never agree to this. But a man can dream, and dream he shall. For I have constructed a very simple yet unique concept for this hypothetical scenario where Herobrine does get added into Minecraft. Dead by Daylight, my mistake. So, join me today as we discover what Herobrine would be like if he was in Dead by Daylight. Apologies for not having some amazing animation. I tried to animate, but it literally gave me a migraine. Anyway, here is the concept I've been thinking of for the new killer, who is Herobrine. Of course, it's a very early draft, and I'd be really happy to hear your opinions on how you would adapt Herobrine or any other killer into the game. So, let's get started. The killer's name is the Miner, also known as Herobrine. His power? Build and destroy. Now, this power is pretty complex, so please stay with me. The first part you need to know is the redstone contraption. Generators are completely evicted from the trial. Instead, survivors must collect redstone to make a gadget to open the gate. This idea came from the thought that repairing generators is really, really boring in Dead by Daylight. Let's just be honest here. Nobody likes doing it, and if they do, can I ask you, why do you enjoy it? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just wondering why you enjoy it. So I thought maybe there could be some killers that could have a completely different objective. Crafting tables are a huge part in this. They spawn throughout the trial, and both the survivor and the miner can use them. They will need to create gadgets to stun or distract the killer, but the ultimate gadget, which I can't think of the name of right now, I actually never wrote it down, would be made to open the exit gates. However, the miner can craft weapons out of these materials, as well as traps. Mining is a very important thing, um, because you can't craft anything if you don't have any materials. Survivors and the miners need to collect resources to craft items. Weapons come in three tiers for the miner: iron, default, essentially, is a normal killer weapon that doesn't break. Gold, your cooldown is much faster, so think of built in Stabiffle, but it has extremely low durability and breaks instantly. And Diamond, which has an extremely slow cooldown, but it can instantly put survivors into the dying state, and you can only use it once. Now, I know the Diamond Sword is probably the most unique and memorable weapons in Minecraft, but nah, having a weapon that can one shot people just doesn't feel right. I might change that later. Traps, on the other hand, is something I know I won't change. When the miner collects redstone, he's able to create elaborate traps, such as the dispenser. When a survivor triggers a tripwire, the dispensers will shoot arrows in the direction they are facing. The arrows act a lot like Trickster's blades, being they have to hit you several times to actually damage you. The piston trap is one of my favorites. If a survivor steps on a pressure plate, they will fall into a hole and need to get out. You will be notified of this from the survivor screaming. Finally, the mob form. If the miner makes one of these, he can use it instead of hooking. On the second hook state, the survivors will have to fight mobs in order to survive. This ignores all hook related perks, meaning if you were to grab the obsession and put them into the mob grinder, well, then perks like Grim Embrace and Pain Resonance will not work on this thing. As for the add ons, some of them are interesting, others are not that much. We have the burnt out torch. The glow of redstone deposits are dimmer, making it harder for you to find them, but it's also harder for the survivors to find them. Music Disc 11 crafting is 10 times faster. Is 10% faster. Sorry, I can't talk today. Not much, but these are just brown add-ons. Moving on to yellow, Eye of Ender. Survivors who disarm traps will have their auras revealed. Exploding TNT. Wink, wink. Survivors who trigger traps will become deafened. Deafened being a rare status effect that only shows up currently in the game with one of Hag's add-ons and with one of the Cannibal's perks. Trapdoor. Pallets can activate redstone signals. Simple. Redstone torch. Survivors who attempt to disarm a trap will trigger it instead. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention survivors can disarm your traps. But this perk can change that. Next up, we have the two purple add-ons, Potion of Blindness and Potion of Poison. Potion of Blindness will shoot whenever the arrows are shot at survivors. If they're hit by one of them, they're inflicted with blindness. And Potion of Poison. Survivors with his hit by an arrow will be damaged slowly over time until they're healed or downed. Admittedly, this effect seems a little too strong, so I might make it so that it will only deal one health state over time until they are healed. Now for the iridescence, and these are my favorites. Nether Star. Increase the odds of finding diamonds. This can be great for the killer because of the diamond sword, but it can also be very good for survivors because they can use it to craft special gadgets. So be aware when you're using this. And finally, my personal favorite, the Enchanting Book. Tools can be enchanted on either side with a random positive effect. No negative effects, positive effects. So we can have something like sharpness, increasing the damage on everything except for the diamond sword. You can have stuff like efficiency, which makes it so that stuff like the golden sword will not break so quickly. You can have something like a new enchantment, like hidden. I don't know what it would do, but the possibilities are endless. Now, what's a good killer without good perks? And while these perks are not that amazing, I will say they do work well with them. Now, white eyes. When a survivor sabotages, blinds, or stuns the killer, reveal their aura for 6 seconds. Admittedly, I don't know how useful that's going to be. And besides, Chucky's new perk, this was made before Chucky was added, so I don't know if Hex 2 can play would even work well with this perk. Hex Curse of Vanishing is a perk that I'm surprised doesn't exist yet. But basically, if a survivor drops their items by any means, that item will disappear. Now, this perk is amazing, but I just realized that people are going to equip Franklin's Demise and abuse the heck out of it. Yeah. And finally, Grief. Now, admittedly, this perk does not synergize with Herobrine at all, with the way I have him set up currently. It's a great perk, but it just doesn't work on Herobrine, which is kind of redundant. After hooking a survivor, instead of kicking a generator, install a trap that slowly regresses it. If the survivor doesn't hit a hard skill check, the generator will explode, destroying the trap in the process. And that's Herobrine. Now, it doesn't say on here, but I actually came up with two legendary cosmetics for Herobrine, those being Null and Entity 303. I was thinking about adding mobs into here, but I honestly couldn't figure out how to make them work any better than Nemesis zombies. So, if you have any ideas on how to do it, please let me know. And as you'll see by my poll that I recently put up on my channel, I my next video will not be a Dead by Daylight video. It's gonna be on something else. For you see, I love Dead by Daylight, but it's not the only thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about more things that I am passionate about. So I came up with two ideas, but I'm stuck between them. You can fill out the poll if you want to help me decide, or you could leave your own ideas on what I should talk about in the comments below. And if it has something to do with Dead by Daylight, I may even talk about that, just not in the next video, as I want to do something different. But, as you see, I just love sharing my raw opinions. So anyway, I've been the Gamer Nerd, and thank you for watching.